Being a sister is about so much more than just sharing the same blood. Having a sister means always being there, no matter the circumstances. Muscular dystrophy is a group of diseases that cause progressive weakness and loss of muscle mass. In muscular dystrophy, abnormal genes or mutations interfere with the production of proteins needed to form healthy muscle. My name is Claire Carrier, and this is my sister Chelsea's story. So, at what point in the pregnancy did y'all know that Chelsea was going to be different, that she was going to have a disability?
We didn't know until the moment Chelsea was born that she was going to have a disability.
Can you explain a little bit on what type of muscular dystrophy that she has and sort of what that means?
Chelsea has a rare form of muscular dystrophy called Nemeline rod myopathy, and it's one of the 4 most rare forms. There's 40 forms of muscular dystrophy, and this can vary from being hardly noticeable to being as severe as being a congenital form where you're totally ventilator dependent at birth, and that is exactly what Chelsea has.
Okay. Chelsea Marie Carrier was born on August 8th, 1990, and this was the day that they found out that she would be living with muscular dystrophy for the rest of her life.
When Chelsea was born and we met with the doctors, the only thing the doctors could tell us was all the clinical things associated with what she had. So all they could tell us was she would never walk, never do anything physically, never be able to talk or communicate. Mentally she's 100%, but she'll never be able to communicate with you other than move her eyes. So we took the next steps to learn how to take care of her medically, and while we were in the hospital, small things would happen. She'd move her fingers, she'd do different things, which for us it was like her getting up, taking her first steps. But as a dad, your kids look for you to scare the monsters away, and with Chell you can't. The reality is what it is. She deals with her disabilities, but she doesn't look at them as a disability. It's just something she deals with on a daily basis for the rest of her life.
We don't either. We never have thought of Chelsea as a burden. We have made us appreciate the good health and of our other grandchildren.
Yeah, because like you said, every time a grandchild was born, we didn't know.
Right.
And nobody knew, because when Chelsea was born, they didn't know.
I mean, he and your mom had big challenges ahead of them.
They were super young too.
Yeah, at such a young age. But they accepted the challenges and they moved ahead bravely.
And they spent weeks in the hospital to take care of her. And doctors were like, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But they said, no, we're going to do it. We're going to take her, and we're going to learn everything and bring her home. And
Along with learning how to take care of Chelsea, the family would also have to learn how to raise her as a young woman without limitations despite her disability.
There were times where we talked about the other day where she was in a power chair and she wanted something done or wanted me to do something right away. And I told her just wait a minute. I was sitting in a chair and she wheeled up with her chair, spun it around, and then came right up to me like, she was going to make me do whatever she wanted me to do. And that didn't work. I forgot, I think she might have been 8 or 9 years old. So I made her wheel the chair back to her room and turned her chair off. And it was like a punishment. And I came back to the living room and I think I cried like a baby because, it's like I hated doing that. But it was one of the things we've always done is never treat her any differently than the other children.
Right.
And she's grown up knowing that she's capable of doing anything that she sets her mind to do. Just sometimes we have to alter the way that she accomplishes it. The goal and the results will be the same. Just the means to get there might be different than than someone without the challenges that she has.
In this family, hospital visits have become something that feels familiar, and we firmly believe that God's plan is the best plan for us.
Well, we kind of live our house, function in our home like we're at a firehouse. I mean, we're always on call, we're always organized, we're always prepared for any emergency. But the benefits of that, or we don't take anything for granted. We always tell each other we love each other. We live each day to the fullest. And you know, we see the joy in all the little things. I think that's the biggest thing for us.
Another special thing about our family is that it's twice the size of a normal one. This means we have 4 parents and lots of step-siblings and other family that doubles the amount of support and love that Chelsea gets. So coming into this family knowing that part of the relationship would be learning how to love her child just as much as you love yours, how was parenting different for Chelsea than it was with Noah?
Well, I remember the first time we met, she basically told me that I had to go home and learn the sign language alphabet. And because I was so excited to meet her, I went in the next room and learned it in 5 minutes.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I'd say the major differences are just getting to know her facial expressions, her personality. It's a little bit harder with someone with muscular dystrophy that has no muscles in their facial area, so they can't express themselves as much. So you have to just pay attention more. You have to look for those little differences.
Communication in the beginning was a little complicated, but I found ways to communicate with her by printing out like the alphabet and just letting her point to the letters so I could understand what she was trying to say to me. Later, I would really try to learn her finger sign language, and texting back and forth helped a whole lot to communicate with her.
Where family plays a big part in Chelsea's care, Chelsea also has extended family through the outstanding nurses and friends that she has met along the way.
When she was first born, Children's Hospital in New Orleans was a tremendous help for us. The ventilator program there came and supported us, met us at Ochsner's actually, and got us connected with specialists that helped us receive ventilator training to learn how to take care of her, to bring her home. Without that, we would not have been able to bring her home. There was, at the time, when she was born, I mean, she's 25 years old now, there was 3 places in the country that would train parents everything that they needed to know to be able to bring their babies home. And we were very fortunate that it was right there in New Orleans. When we got home, the early intervention program out at Lark, we were with them. It was for children birth to 3 years old. They actually had what we called her teacher would come out to the house, and they are the ones that helped us learn sign language and started teaching Chelsea sign language so that she had that as an alternative form of communication. And really, I think those were the 2 main organizations that helped us out.
Awesome.
With the knowledge, or with, I guess, with what they had to work with. From a standpoint of when we talked about the doctors, nurses, the care that Chelsea's received. Most of the people Chelsea's had in her life in that way, I would have to say, were handpicked by God. I mean, these people were amazing, and I could take up hours of your time telling you examples of that.
So Miss Tammy, how has having Chelsea as one of your patients changed your perspective on people with disabilities or communication through sign language?
Actually, I didn't know sign language till I met Chelsea. And I picked up on it really quick. She's really patient. And she's such a sweetheart. She really, I mean, like, I've taken care of different patients, but her is like a special connection. Like, we just get along great. We can be one another.
Chelsea is a passionate young woman who's dedicated to changing the lives of everyone that she meets.
I think the moment that I heard her cry was the moment that my whole life changed. Because there was something in the way that she cried. We could tell it wasn't a normal cry. And at that moment, it's just, I don't know how else to explain it other than something just came over me that I knew that my life would forever be changed. And you do whatever you have to do to take care of that baby. And we knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that whatever it was going to take to bring her home and give her as normal a life as possible, that was whatever we had to do, we'd do it.
She's, the only thing that's not, or that's different is her mobility issues. And the issues that the disease affects her muscle and muscle tone. Other than that, she's 100%.
Right.
Mentally, emotionally, and everything else.
It made us more sensitive, I guess, but the help that families need
Disabilities, family with
that have
disabilities.
kids that have special needs.
Yeah.
And it also really pointed out how difficult it is to get help for kids that have special needs. Get help with things that the parents can't really afford.
We have a special bond over Pappy, her grandfather, my husband, and we text and we sign to each other. We like to watch movies together. So it's very, very special. She texts me when she sees butterflies, or I'll text her when I see a cardinal. It's all reminding us of Pappy.
How has having Chelsea in your life made you a better brother?
She made me more cool because she's cool.
Very easy to love Chelsea. She's just like any normal child. She just doesn't have the muscles to express herself like most. So you adapt, you learn, and you learn through sign language and all her facial expressions exactly who she is. And over time, it becomes our norm. And I wouldn't trade her the way she is for anything in the world, because that is our norm.
She will never give up. She don't give up. And I truly admire the little girl. Well, it's a young woman now for that. And I've always admired her for her spirit. And I just truly believe that she is blessed with many gifts that people view as disabilities, but I don't view them as that as much as gifts that she has.
Having Chelsea in my life has really changed it in a good way for me. I never knew anybody with muscular dystrophy before I met Chelsea, and I never really understood the word disabled before I met Chelsea. The thing that I got most from meeting her is that, in the most basic sense of the word, like, disabled people are still real people, and that was something that took me a long time to understand.
We're glad to learn sign language.
Right.
And we're not really proficient in it as well as we'd like to be, but I think we do pretty well.
We do okay, as far as Chelsea's concerned.
Yeah, she laughs at us.
You know, she calls mom and she said, I'm not playing Wheel of Fortune.
Can you spell your name in sign language?
R-O-P-E-R-T.
Do you know how to say I love you?
Having Chelsea in the family and taking care of special needs kids last year made me realize that even though they all have disabilities of their own, their personality and their emotions still matter. They're still important and it's valid.
I'd like to, as an outsider, I like to help out as much as I can. Like I tried to, every time that she's been in the hospital for the past 4 years, I've tried to be there, you know, and just make light of the situation if it calls for it, or be there if it's, I'm there for whatever they need.
I like to tell you, in high school is to communicate with them.
So that's good. From 13, because you were young, you were able to learn that in a better way through high school classes.
Communicating through sign language is something that was really hard for me to grasp the concept of, because it's not using your words like I've always been taught to, it's using your hands. And the thing I love about sign language is that it's very universal, and no matter what language people may speak, everybody can understand sign language. And I think that my life has been very blessed with Chelsea in it, and I'm very thankful to have met her, and I hope that I can learn full sign language one day so that I can be able to communicate with other people.
Chelsea's family, in particular, has a lot more advantages mentally and in their lifestyle. There's obviously disadvantages too, but there's a lot that comes with it. I think they're more they're more compassionate because of her, and more aware of other families and things like that. Like that the world is imperfect, and that there are real challenges out there besides your everyday, like need to pay the bills or need to get things done. I think they have a lot more advantages and opportunities, like specific opportunities than a lot of like normal, families have on a day-to-day basis.
She is special. She is creative.
How does that make you feel?
It got me involved with LARC, with the mentally challenged, and I see these people come through at Christmas, and it just, it warms my heart. They like to take my pen every time they come through. So I have a bunch of cheap pens up there for them to have, but they'll shake our hands and hug us, and it makes you feel so good at Christmas.
Well, it kind of makes you more compassionate, more aware, and more, about other people, and not just because Michelle has other disabilities. It just makes you,
But we teach her how to overcome the disabilities and just how to be successful and positive in anything she does.
Right.
And in doing so, I think she's just a great inspiration to anyone and everyone that's ever met her or been influenced by anything that she's ever done.
Right. So, for somebody who's never met a person who has a disability, what would you want them to know? Don't judge by looks. Because speaking from my own experience, I've gotten along a lot of underestimations because of my looks. So you want them to understand that maybe physical limitations don't limit a person, mentally and by what they can achieve. And that's awesome. And yes, they may, but you won't know unless you look past the looks and get to know the person. Very good. Okay. Getting to be Chelsea's younger sister has been nothing short of a privilege and a blessing. Chelsea teaches me every day how to be patient, how to forgive, how to love God, and how to love unconditionally. Without her in my life, I know that I wouldn't be half the person that I am today, and she drives me to be better. Chelsea has taught me to always follow my dreams no matter the circumstance, and I hope that I can always be there to help her chase hers.